Hello guys, this is What About Nintendo. Today I'm here to talk about the recently announced Nintendo Switch Lite. What do I think about the pricing, the form factor, the fact that it can't switch, and much more. Let's get right on into it. So guys, if you don't know, Nintendo has just announced today that the new Switch Mini rumors are in fact true, but it's not a Switch Mini, it is a Switch Lite. Much like the DS Lite, they're using the same naming and spelling, and it's kind of marketed as the same sort of device. So in essence, it is a dedicated portable gaming device. It cannot dock to a TV, however it does play every single game on the Nintendo Switch that is allowed into handheld mode, which is essentially like 95% of all the games. It also has some other nice things about them we'll talk about a bit, but let's get into my thoughts. First off, I'd like to say that this is actually pretty close to what I predicted. It's not exactly what I predicted, as I thought that they would have a dock separately that you would buy like on the Nintendo Online Store, but it's still pretty close. I did predict that announcement in July with a September release, albeit there's another November Pokemon version I didn't predict. I did predict the built-in Joy-Cons and smaller form factor, though pretty much everyone was saying that. I predicted it would be $200. I predicted it wouldn't be a Switch Mini, and me and my friend Andres Restart have actually been referring to it as the Switch Lite on our podcast for a while, and many other things that I've actually am pretty proud of getting correct. I think that's pretty cool. But you guys didn't come here for me to brag about what predictions I got correct. You came here to listen to my thoughts and reasoning on whether or not I like this system, so let's get on into that. Firstly, let's talk about how the Switch Lite can't switch. I did think that the Switch Lite would not come with a dock. However, what I didn't think is that there wouldn't be any way to dock it at all. It is a dedicated portable device. There is no separate dock that you can buy. I thought for sure there would be a Switch Lite dock, which is a smaller, cheaper dock with less USBs, maybe just one USB and one HDMI. I thought it was going to be like the adjustable charging stand that Nintendo sells, only with maybe one USB and an HDMI out, but no, it doesn't seem like that is going to be the case. It is really weird seeing a Switch that cannot switch, essentially because the entire naming was based off of that switching mechanic. However, my friend Andres Restart that I mentioned before did point out to me that the 2DS doesn't have 3D, which the 3DS was named for. However, I think this is a little bit different in my opinion, just because the 2DS actually did get a name change to the 2DS, taking the 3D out of the equation. It's just flat 2D games, not 3D. Also, 3DS 3D was kind of something a lot of people didn't like. People thought it was pretty bad. Most people didn't like it. Most people didn't use it. So it made sense. However, with the Switch Lite, I almost keep wanting to say mini. I might have said mini before in this. Hopefully not. But the Switch Lite, the switching mechanic, not only is it still in the name, but it was a beloved feature that I think a lot of people did enjoy. Now, of course, this is for a different market, so I'm not really upset about this. I just think it's kind of odd that there's not even the option to buy a Switch Lite dock if you want to switch. Next, let's talk about a feature that I think is actually very important, and that is the battery life of the system. According to CNET, who actually went hands-on with the device and got an interview with Doug Bowser, the head of Nintendo of America, has said that they have confirmed that the Switch Lite is indeed using a new chipset from the original Switch. And according to the data mines from the Switch's firmware, which we know was compatible with the new chip, this is apparently a 16nm process, which, if for all you guys who don't know what that means, it just means it's more energy efficient and generates less heat, which is great for a portable unit. However, even so, I am kind of disappointed with the amount of battery life we're actually gaining. If you go to Nintendo's website and you look at the Nintendo Switch Lite section, there's a compare section as well that actually tells you the battery life differences between the two systems. On the normal Switch, that's 2.5 to 6.5 hours, and I was expecting something more like 5 to 10 on a Switch Mini. However, that's not the case. In fact, it's only a little bit more, being 3 to 7 hours, which is only about a half hour more on each side of the scale. According to Nintendo, the typical battery savings is 20 to 30%, but that doesn't really make sense for the Switch since it uses that 16nm highly efficient process. In fact, the Tegra X2, which uses this same process and probably is what they base this custom chip on, is 100% more efficient than the regular X1 compared to the up to 30% of this new Switch. The reason I think this is because the Switch is actually smaller. The Switch Lite is a smaller device, and that means they must have had to shrink down the battery. I really wish they could have found a way to not shrink the battery, assuming that is the problem, and give us a bigger battery inside that system, especially since the fan apparently is smaller and generates less noise. There should have been more room, I feel, for a bigger battery, but I was hoping for better battery life. Still, 30% is a nice upgrade here, and the less fan noise and heat will definitely be great, especially since we know a lot of Switches are like warping and they're really loud. They really are, and they do kind of get really warm in your hands, especially if you switch back and forth. Like I was playing Mario Maker the other day and I took it out in order to build a level, and it was really hot. Like, it was uncomfortable to hold. So it's still a nice upgrade. I was still hoping for a little bit more though in the battery life. But finally, let's talk about the actual design of the system. I'm absolutely loving the design of the Nintendo Switch Lite. It's even more sleek than the normal Switch, which people already are comparing to like really nice iPhones and tablets and things like that. This is even sleeker than that in my mind, and it just looks even better and even more high quality than the normal Switch. I'm also loving the colors they chose. Turquoise is my favorite. Gray is also a great choice. Yellow, I'm a little iffy on yellow, but it's still great. All around, the colors are actually really good, and I'm glad they went with such different colors than what we see on the normal Switch, which is great. I am slightly disappointed that they lowered the screen size from 6.2 inches to 5.5 inches. It is going to be a bit smaller, and that screen I feel like already felt a little small for, home console games on the go. That text get a little bit small sometimes, so I think it's going to be a bit of an issue there. I don't think it's going to be too terrible, and I do think the smaller screen size will make those lower pixel counts of the portable Switch games actually look higher. It will make the games look better, but overall, I'm kind of wish they had just lowered the bezel and fit a bigger screen there. Maybe it was for cost reasons, maybe it was for battery life reasons. The smaller the screen, the less battery life it takes to power that screen. Overall, I think there's probably reasons that this is the case. I just wish that we kept that same 6.2 inch size screen. Speaking of screen dimensions, let's actually go over a few of the other dimensions of the Switch. Actually, when I first saw the Switch Lite, I thought it was thinner than the normal Switch, but it doesn't seem to have been. I looked at the official, if you go to the compare tools again, you can look at the official specs, and the size is the exact same, so it's the exact same thickness. However, it is much more rounded at the tops and the corners, making it look like it's thinner. I actually compared the spaces in between the head jack and the front and back of the device, and it's actually less on there, but that's just because it's more rounded. So it does end up actually feeling thinner without actually being thinner than it is. However, this is a smaller device than the normal Switch, which of course is great on the go. In fact, it is 0.4 inches shorter vertically and 1.2 inches shorter horizontally, and is 0.27 pounds lighter. This is about the size I was expecting and hoping for, maybe a little bit bigger than I was hoping, but it's around the size I was hoping for. This is definitely going to make it way easier to put it in a larger pocket or fit it in your bag or whatever you need. It's definitely going to make it a lot more portable, which is nice. Honestly, this is going to be a way better portable experience than the regular Nintendo Switch, in my opinion. The regular Switch actually is a bit of a pain to carry around. It's a bit big, it's a bit clunky. When you hold the controllers, the Joy-Cons kind of feel like they move like this, and they don't really feel like they're in there too sturdy. The Joy-Cons themselves aren't that great. They're kind of cheap feeling, even though they're $80. It's just not that great on the go. It's a little too big to carry around comfortably. I think this is actually going to be great for people who are on the go constantly. I think it's going to be great to, you know, for those bigger games that you really want to see the good graphics, you're going to want to put those on your normal Switch. But you can buy this $200 Switch Lite, and, you know, for the smaller games that you're not really going to want to be playing on your TV, you can carry those around with you. We also do know that they're planning to make switching, your save files easier over the cloud in different ways to your Switch Mini. Apparently that's in the works according to Doug Bowser. I'll put an exact quote up here so you can know exactly what he said. Apparently that's in the works to make it easier to switch, so maybe you'll have games on your normal Switch that you're playing on your TV, and then you can just transfer save files over to your Switch Mini, Switch Lite, not Switch Mini, to your Switch Lite, and have that on the go for a better portable experience. Personally, I hardly ever use my Switch on the go, but looking at this device, I kind of think I might use it more if I owned one. I'm really looking at that turquoise one as one I kind of want to pick up if I have the money. It's just a great system that I think I would use for smaller games. I know I have my Switch currently that's portable and it will work fine, but if I have the $200 to just spend how I want, that is a sleek design, and it looks like it's gonna be way more portable than the current Switch, and probably a lot less janky on the go, because the current Switch pretty janky on the go, not gonna lie. It works, it's fine, but this looks like it's gonna be even better for portable play, which is great. So overall, I'm pretty happy with the device. I think it could be better in some aspects like battery life. I wish they had a separate dock you could buy for it. I don't think it's a huge deal, but I think it is something that would be great for people who want to get in on an entry-level Switch and then eventually also be able to use that switching feature without having to buy a $300 system in order to do so. Maybe they'll come up with one later, but at the moment of this recording, that is not a thing. So overall, I'm happy with the device, but I think it could have been better than what it is. But yeah, guys, those are just my opinions on the Nintendo Switch Mini. I want to hear all your opinions on the device down in the comments below. What do you think? Are you happy about the device? What are you disappointed in? And are you going to buy one yourself? Also, make sure to stay tuned, because tomorrow I'm going to be talking about my new updated predictions on the Nintendo Switch Pro, because obviously that didn't get announced and my predictions are actually changing dramatically for that, so I wanted to give you guys some updated predictions for that. That's going to be here tomorrow, so make sure to stay tuned. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and ring that bell icon so you don't miss that video and many more. Also, make sure to share this video with everyone you know who is hyped about the Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch Mini. And I'll see all you awesome people later on What About Nintendo. Bye!